and welcome to the International Daily Roundup with People's Dispatch, where we bring you some of the top stories from across the globe. Let's take a look at today's headlines. Tensions mount at Indo-China border after unarmed clash leads to casualties. Indian Communist protest government mismanagement of pandemic. South African teachers demand resignation of Education Minister over COVID-19 spread. 3 West Papuan activists convicted of treason by Indonesian court. 50 UN human rights experts condemn Israeli annexation plans, call it 21st century apartheid. Tensions have mounted on the India-China border after a clash between the militaries of the two sides leading to deaths. The clash took place in the Galwan Valley in the Ladakh area on Monday night. India has said that 20 of its soldiers were killed and 17 injured in the unarmed skirmish, while there are no details on the casualties on the Chinese side. The Galwan region, situated at the Line of Actual Control or the LAC, an armistice line between India and China, has seen tensions for nearly a month. The LAC separates India's Ladakh territory from Chinese-controlled territory of Aksai Chin, which is a vast, desolate cold desert. China officially took control of the territory after a war with India in 1962. Recently, both countries have been accusing soldiers from the other side of breaching the armistice line. Following these allegations, talks were held at the military officer level. According to the Indian side, the skirmish occurred during the de-escalation process. Many sections of the right-wing media in India have gone on overdrive, demanding retaliation and indulging in rabble-rousing. Left parties in India have called for de-escalation and diffusing of the tension. June 16th also saw major national protests in India against the government's mismanagement of the COVID-19 pandemic. The protests were organized by the Communist Party of India Marxist and a number of leftist mass organizations in response to what they called the anti-people policies of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the ruling Hindu supremacist Bharatiya Janata Party. The CPIM has made a number of demands, including a cash transfer of approximately $100 a month for 6 months, the transfer of food grains to all, guaranteed employment for 200 days under the National Rural Employment Scheme, and an end to privatization of state enterprises. Protesters carried out marches and demonstrations in different parts of the country, while many thousands participated over social media. The party has also pointed out the severe economic crisis that has set upon India, with over 150 million people pushed into unemployment during the counter-pandemic measures. CPIM has also condemned the recent push by several state governments to increase working hours and to suspend labor protections under the guise of the pandemic. Now to our third story, the Educators Union of South Africa took out a demonstration on June 16th, calling for the resignation of Education Minister Angelina Motshekga. This is following the spike in COVID-19 infections among teachers and students after the schools were reopened earlier this month. Unions in the education sector had opposed this move. Demonstrators on Tuesday marched to the US Embassy first to express solidarity with the Black Lives Matter protests. They then marched to the Union Buildings, the seat of government in South Africa. June 16th is also the anniversary of the Soweto uprising of 1976. In a statement released last week, EUSA claimed that in just the first 3 days of schools reopening, over 2,000 students and teachers tested positive for COVID-19, leading to the closure of over 100 schools. EUSA also complained about the death of 5 so far because of the infection. The spike in infections, though, has not led the government to reconsider the decision of reopening schools. The union had previously tried to reverse the decision to reopen schools by seeking an urgent interdict from the Pretoria High Court. However, the court ruled in favor of the government on June 10th. Unions had pointed out that most public schools still lack the necessary safety gear and the proper infrastructure to follow the prescribed safety measures. Moving on to our fourth story, on Wednesday, 3 West Papuan detainees were pronounced guilty of treason by an Indonesian court. The 3 defendants include Mukhtar Tabuni, a leader of the United Liberation Movement for West Papua, an umbrella organization fighting for Papuan self-determination. The other 2 detainees are Ferry Gombo and Irvanus Orupmabin. They are student activists in the West Papuan capital of Jayapura. The 3 were sentenced to minimum prison sentences of 10 months each. The verdict is the first of the 3 separate trials being held against 7 West Papuan detainees similarly accused of treason. The trials are being held in Balikpapan in East Kalimantan, and hence the detainees are called Balikpapan 7. They were arrested for participating in anti-racism protests that were raging between August and September last year in the 2 Papuan provinces. Human rights and civil liberties advocates have decried the trial itself as an infringement of the constitutionally guaranteed right to protest. Finally, close to 50 United Nations human rights experts released a joint statement on Tuesday denouncing Israel's plans to annex large parts of occupied Palestine. The experts pointed out that the annexation will be illegal under international law, which bans occupying powers from annexing territories. In the joint statement, it was stated that the move will be in violation of the UN Charter and the Geneva Conventions and other legal precedents put in place by the UN Security Council and General Assembly. The experts urged the international community to actively oppose the plan and prevent Israel from going through with it. They also said that since the plan intends to take over 30% of the occupied West Bank, what would be left for Palestinians would be nothing more than the Bantustan and a realization of a 21st century apartheid. They also reiterated the position of Palestinian leadership that the annexation would be an end to all possibilities of an independent and contiguous Palestine. After the formation of a coalition government last month, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu announced his plans to annex Palestinian territories. The proposed annexation will include illegal Israeli settlements and the entire Jordan Valley region in the West Bank. And this is all we have for this episode of the International Daily Roundup. For more such stories and videos, visit our website peoplesdispatch.org, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Thank you for watching.
Cantar que vamos a triunfar, avanza ya.